Get it from me? Hello, hello. So, have you ever wondered what you would do if you had more money than you know what to do with? That's what my guest, Shelly O'Connell, and I are going to be talking about. Hello, hello, my female entrepreneurs. And if you are a member of our financially free female entrepreneurs community on Facebook, then you know that you are fabpreneurs. That's right. Hi, Shelly. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am so happy that you're here with me. Always makes this a lot more fun when I am with you. Can you please tell people a little bit about you and then I'll do the same?
Yes, thanks. I am a flirting coach for women. Have you ever felt frustrated with the dating scene and you want to make meaningful connections? Well, I teach women how to reframe flirting as a form of play and how to gain confidence so that they make the meaningful connections that they want and basically get into the relationships that they want because that's tend to be what they're looking for or to enhance the relationship that they have. And I'm also the author of this little book called Finding Your Flirt. It's tips and exercises to help you get your flirt on.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And I am delighted that actually I see that we are on Facebook on my profile. And hopefully I'll check in a little bit that we are on Instagram as well as YouTube. And so if you're watching for the first time live or if you are in the recording, please make sure to take this opportunity to tell us all about you. Tell us your name, your company, what solutions do you offer, and to who do you offer those solutions? So, my name is Evie Diaz. I am a financial empowerment speaker, a money block healer, and a author. And it was about when I was 11 going on 12 that my mom had to leave a very abusive relationship where she was getting beat up by her boyfriend that lived with us. And we had to run away. And we ran away with literally the clothes on our backs and whatever I can fit in one of those kitty luggages. And it wasn't much. And unfortunately, one of the things I grabbed was my oldest and tightest shoes. And we had to move, and she had to put me in a new school. And she took me out shopping to this store that I'll never forget the name, Valley Fair. And we were at Valley Fair, and we were looking for shoes for me. And of course, if you could imagine a 12-year-old girl, perhaps you have a child that's 12-year-olds, or you've been 12 years old. I always say that I was not a 12-year-old like today's 12-year-olds, that they know a lot. I was more like a 5 or 7-year-old girl back then because I was so, you know, innocent. And I saw a pair of shoes that I liked, and I told my mom, I like this pair of shoes. And she looked at them and she looked at the price immediately and she said, "Who do you think you are? What do you think? Money grows on trees? We can't afford that." Now, I don't know what that meant. I didn't know. But I'll tell you something that years later, I discovered the massive impact that had in my life. And I mean, it really developed a very negative money script. Now, I use the word money script and I've been using it for a while. I've come to discover that actually it is a term that psychologists use to express what a limiting or negative money script may be or a money belief. Well, that became mine. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because I want to explain to you how we selected the book that we are finishing today. And so I've been on a journey of improving my life and my financial life. Now, there's a lot more to my story that I can tell you. I can tell you that I amassed a lot of money, even though I grew up and was born in poverty. And then I lost it all. And so I am on about my third round of having gone through losing, making money, generating a lot of income and losing it. And one of the reasons why I think that has happened to me is because I've had these negative and limiting money scripts. And during the pandemic, My husband suggested that I write a book. I didn't know what I was going to write about. And then he said, well, how about you submit it to Hay House and you write a book for Hay House? And at that time, I had a 15-year career as a marketing expert, both in the pharmaceutical industry, where I launched a drug by the name of Embro, and also, I had my own business, and I also was a professional speaker for Constant Contact and the Google My Business program. And so I said, what? The company that I buy books from is Hay House, and they don't do marketing books. Well, all that to say that surely, then my husband said, how about you write about that stuff that book you read every year, Think and Grow Rich? And I told him, Think and Grow Rich, I read it every year because I have a massive problem with it, and that is the thinking part. I don't like thinking so much. Thinking gets me into trouble. And in thinking, I have a lot of thoughts that do not help me to move forward. Or I think myself into stuff and then I think myself right out of stuff. So I had a problem with that, I told him. But anyway, um, I started writing, and then the opportunity came that I met key people in Hay House, went through a program at Hay House, created a book proposal, and submitted my book. And as I've been writing my book and having regular meetings with the Hay House folks, including the CEO of Hay House, I didn't think that I should be reading other people's books that are on financial freedom, prosperity, wealth. But one of the things Reed Tracy said to me is, you want to read books. You want to read lots of books, especially those that are related to what you're writing about, because you want to know what's out there. And that huge long story to tell you that that's how I came to this book. Now, this book is a self-published book. My book will come out published under a big publisher, and it doesn't matter because this book, as a self-published, has become very, very profitable for this young woman who wrote it. Now, I was introduced to this book by my good friend, and I give a shout out to Christina Rowe, who has the biggest Facebook group on Facebook, so much so that she's been featured on Facebook by Facebook, the company Meta, because she's been extremely successful, a six-figure, if not seven-figure entrepreneur. And she suggested this book to me last year, and I will tell you that I myself had some resistance. For one thing, because I was still thinking that I really shouldn't be reading other people's book that wrote about prosperity, abundance, or money like I did. Secondly, because I didn't like the title. You know, I didn't care for the cursing. Not that I don't curse, because I do. So I had resisted, and then I was also reading four books at the same time. But in any event, this year I finally started a reading group, and we read two books prior to this one this year. And when I mentioned this one to the ladies in my reading group, there was resistance. And guess what? There's been so much resistance, and I don't know if it's of the money, which a lot of people tell me, yeah, even the picture of money. Some people have told me that they don't even like the cover because of the picture of money. Some people have told me that they didn't even like my group originally. My Facebook group was called the Money Manifesting Women. And people say, oh, I don't like that name, the Money Manifesting. I don't like that you put money. Now, I changed the group since to Fabpreneurs, not because people didn't like the money, but because Source told me that that's the name of our group. But there's been a lot of resistance to this group. And even though people signed up, even when I decided that for the only time this year I was going to charge a minimum charge of $11.11 because I like that number, and people paid it, here we are at the end of this book, and I am here with my friend Shelley, the only woman who has not allowed resistance and who's been brave enough to read this entire book with me. And she has been discussing this book with me now. For how many weeks have we been talking about this book?
Oh, I'm going to say probably 6 or 7, I think, right?
6 or 7. And today is the end. We are at the culmination of this book. So today we're going to finish the last 3 chapters of this book. And if you never read it, that's okay. we hope that we can enlighten you and maybe inspire you to pick up this book. Okay? Because I'll tell you, picking up this book is a lot less than working with me as in one of my groups, and I'll tell you, way less than working with the author, who
Right.
has only group programs, as I understand them, and they are probably 10 times more expensive than any group program that I or Shelley have. So, at the very least, if you're feeling stuck, if you have any resistance, then that's the same and one reason that I'm going to encourage you to invest. How much was this book? Maybe $20, to invest $20, and you can take, 6 weeks or less or more. I encourage you to read it. So, Shelley, what say you about this book, and what say you about the last remaining chapters that we have in this book?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it again. I started reading this book, and that day, my husband brought home a new car. He didn't tell me he was bringing home a new car for me to try out. We ended up buying that car 2 days later because I loved it. No idea that that was going to happen. And since then, I've manifested in the 6 weeks' time we've been doing this $1,100 extra just by using the tips that are in the book that came from out of nowhere that I didn't know was coming. And she talks about in these last 3 chapters, she talks about having resistance, which she says she had herself. And, a lot of times we dig in. I know I've done that in the past when you have resistance. But if you can let go of it, you can often find that there is more there, maybe even surprisingly more for you. Um, if you're having a strong reaction against it, I would challenge you to read the book, because that tells me that there's something there for you, some healing, something that's going to help open you up to a new way of thinking and a new way of receiving money. She also talks about in one of these chapters, I can't remember which one it is right now, about having these conscious or subconscious ideas about uh, what does it mean to have money, and having judgments about that and having judgments about people. And she really breaks that down in a beautiful way that helps you to see that having money isn't bad in and of itself. It doesn't have to change you. It just, in a way, she says it allows you to be a more full expression of yourself. You have more power to do the things that you'd like to do and see change in the world, and I think it's really interesting the way that she reframes things.
Absolutely. And I love that you just said that. You just said about how it makes you. I often heard that having money makes you be more of who you are. And, sometimes I wonder if that was one of the reasons why I, amassed wealth and then lost it. Because I'll tell you that one of the things, and this is the first time that anyone has ever heard me say this, but I'll tell you that when I had a lot of money, I was a BI, you know what, TICH. I was. But that's not because I had money. Or maybe it was, but maybe it was because I thought that that's how I was supposed to behave because I had money. So when I had a lot of money, I used to think I was better than most people. Okay. And I've never said that before. Now, sometimes I say maybe that's why I had to learn that that's not, because I had this concept. And, we have met, I'm sure that anyone listening to me probably has met either from a public eye or from individual meetings, people that are poor, that are great, and
Mhm.
not so great, and people that are billionaires that are great and not so great.
Yeah.
So I know now that whether you're poor, wealthy, or somewhere in the middle, you can be who you are, good or bad, and you could also choose how you want to be.
Yeah.
So if you are an A, you know what, and you're poor, right? Then you're going to be an A, you know what, rich, right? So one of the things that I like to think about is about who we are becoming, because as we become more of that, for me, I call it our fa, financially free future self, then we know, for me anyway, that that is a way of being. And I could be that fabulous, financially free future self now. I could choose to be her now. And the more that I am her now, then the outer stuff, it could be the actual cash or the houses or the cars or the travel or the experiences that I want to have, will manifest themselves, because money is just paper, right?
Mhm.
And money is energy, and money is a means to an end. So it will not make us better or less unless we have a belief and a thought and an idea that that is what it is. But for me, in my new understanding, I have thought about it totally different. But I realized that yes, when the first time that I amassed money by the age of 30, I was like that. But that's because I was very poor, and then I came into money, and I thought that's how poor people that became rich and rich people were. But that's not it. So I want to go into, what are we, chapter 9 of the book?
Yeah. Hmm.
So let's have you share in your underlines and share. This chapter title is Business, Lies, and Standards.
I really liked this chapter
Tell me.
because she breaks down. She has subtitles in there like why the market is too saturated. So basically, why should I bother doing anything? There's a zillion coaches out there, and she goes in and she breaks it down, and the essential thing that comes away from this chapter for me is, um, again, it's up to you. You align with what you feel is right and get inspired guidance, and then align with it and do what feels right to you. If you have a message, there could be thousands of coaches out there or entrepreneurs who want to say the same thing, but because of your life experience and the way that you're saying it, it's going to hit the people and ring true for them, and they will be drawn to you. So you don't have to worry about that. And so she breaks down all of those things, and basically it sums it up to say, for me, that chapter summed it up to say, believe in yourself, believe in your vision, believe in your purpose in being here. And she gives you homework throughout the whole book to be able to like process the stuff that you have resistance to, like if you got these judgments about how rich people should be, or that money is bad or this or that. And she helps you to look at that and really think about it in a new way, in a way that I believe helps open you to receive not just money, but the ability to have the things that you want in your life, and the ability to be receptive to new opportunities and things that can come to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to share some of those business lies that she
Hmm.
shares in the book, just the title, because of course I don't want to infringe and read her book here in public, because I want people to read it also because I respect her as an author. So I'm only going to share with you the titles of the different sections within this chapter. So, as Shelley already said, the market is too saturated, right? That's a big fat lie, right? There's millions and millions of people, and not everybody vibes with everybody. Not everybody vibes with me. Sometimes, I mean, people don't tell me. Some people have told me that I'm too energetic, that I'm just too high energy, right? And maybe that's why they don't want to be around my vibe, right? I may not be want to be around someone because they don't have enough energy, or maybe because they're negative, right? So not everybody's going to vibe with everybody, and that's okay. We can't take that personal. We must understand that that doesn't mean that there's not space for us. There's space for everybody. There are people that are waiting for you right now. that they may or may not look like you, that they may be exactly like you, that when you say something, the way you say it resonates with them and they see themselves in you. So those might be your people, your tribe, your community. Here's another lie. Your audience isn't big enough. So what? It used to be, I remember years ago when social media came out, I used to teach both Facebook and LinkedIn. I used to speak and train people on that, right? And I remember back then it was so important that people have like a ton of followers, right? Now, as more and more of these big Facebook and Instagram experts are out there, even though they have a lot of followers, they'll tell you that the most important thing is not that you have a lot of followers, but that you have quality people that are your ideal client. And that makes a lot of sense. So it's not about having a huge audience. I remember when I used to do the marketing for people, I always remember that I had three women that had these huge YouTube following. I mean, I'm talking about over 1 million. And they came to me for me to help them with their YouTube. And the first time that the first woman came, I said, "What? I can't help you. You have over 1 million followers. I don't even have 100." I said, "How am I going to help you?" And I later discovered that they weren't making any money with all those followers because they weren't, sharing valuable information, having calls to action in a way that was attractive. But at first I didn't know that. So forget the lie about your audience not being big enough. It's not about that. I can tell you, even for myself, you know, all people that are experts in marketing like me will tell you that your email list is the most important thing. Even if you have a huge Facebook or YouTube channel, if you have all those people there, right, but you haven't captured their information in a way that you could market to them directly, you don't have that much control, right? But guess what? It doesn't mean that just because you have 1 million YouTube people doesn't mean you have to have 1 million email subscribers. You could have 300 very good ones out of the million that are your ideal customer. So that's what you want to think about, not so much about, like how many people, but the quality. It's like, and I want to emphasize this because when you know who you want to work with, you're going to attract that. And I mean that. And you want to know your numbers because, like, coming up on November 1st and 2nd, and here's my plug. We have our Moneyfest Live conference, International Women's Conference, and our goal is to have a minimum of 125 women, right? Last time we did it, we had 300 people who registered. We had both men and women, and I'm opening up my program, my new program that opens up in January, and I'm opening it up on November 1st. But guess what? Even though that we're going to have over 125 women, I'm setting that intention. I don't have space in my program, nor do I want all 125 women in my program. My number, what's my magical number, Shelly? You know my number.
11.
11. So I actually Spirit told me, open it for 11 women. So I tell you this because I want us to focus really, and at least for me, I've become more and more aware for me personally that knowing precisely what I want is what helps me. So I know that there's going to be over 100 women that are going to receive massive value because this is not a sales pitch conference, it's not a summit. And we have a few selected right now, only 3 speakers, because it's about value. So while not everybody will qualify, nor will everybody want to move forward with what we're going to be offering, everybody's going to get something for themselves. So trust the process, even if your audience is not big enough. I've waited too long. I've wasted too much time. Today, Reed Tracy said something about Louise Hay, the owner of Hay House. Do you know how old she was, Shelley, when she started Hay House?
I want to say she was in her 50s.
She was 60 years old.
60. Okay.
And you know how old she was when she wrote her last book?
Mm-mm.
90. So you're never too young and you're never too old. And I just heard that, so I wanted to share that. Lie. You don't know where to start or how to niche, right? Guess what? I truly believe that it will be shown to you. I didn't know where to start. When I had my marketing company, I used to say that I do marketing for anyone and everybody who can pay me. I don't say that anymore. And one of the things Shelley and I declared while we were reading this book is that we don't work for money. Money works for us. Money works for us. So what that means is that we are picky and selective. And
Hmm.
so if you don't know where to start or how to niche, don't worry, it will be shown to you. And you will
Yep.
understand that the more you niche, the more you focus, the more you're going to know that you're going to attract the right people. What else did she say here that's kind of, because I don't want to read through every title.
You have to spend a certain amount of money to earn that amount of money, which, kind of is weird thinking to me in the first place. I think, the right people will come to you who are your clients and also the right people to learn from. But in saying that, I think it's really important to trust yourself. Yeah, and I think she does say that too.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I'm going to preface my own belief, and that is if I am a money pincher, which I have been, I'm going to attract money pinchers. If I don't like to invest in my business, in myself, and in courses or things, then guess what? People are not going. I'm going to attract people who don't like to invest in themselves, their business, and courses. So I truly do believe that because I believe in the law of attraction. And I believe that we're magnets and we're magnetizing others that are like ourselves.
Yep.
I really like the one she said on page 196. Lie. This is a big one. You are responsible for your client's results.
Right.
We're not. I mean, we can take credit when clients tell us they're doing really well. Like I have a client of mine who's often come on my live. She talks about how much I've helped her, how her life is totally different. But she did all the work. And I always tell people, I'm just a conduit, but you do the work. So that works the other way too. If someone enrolls into a program with you, you're like this book, right? You're a guide. If people decide to read the book, that's on them. If people decide to apply the principles and practice in the book, that's on them. It's not on you, right?
Yeah.
You what else?
I like the one on 189. Clients are difficult, business is difficult, drama is inevitable. I think, she breaks that down and like, yeah, you might have some challenging clients, but, you work with that. And I have something that this is not my saying, but it struck me, and I think that it's really true. And it is drama and grace cannot coexist. So I fully expect the people that I work with are going to do the work. They're responsible adults, and I'm not going to have any difficulty with them. And I don't. We have a lovely time. So it's mindset kind of thing.
Of course, it's mindset and energy. How
Yeah.
you feel is how you're going to be attracting. If you think you're going to attract those, you will. And if you're being that, you are going to attract that. I like the one on 203. Lie. Selling is sleazy, selfish, and wrong. I mean, how many of us have bought that? And how many of us have made selling sleazy? Either because of the sleazy way we might have been selling or because we attracted sleazy people to sell to us. Recently I came into contact with a woman who developed the hard selling. And what a difference it makes. And she said one thing that really is so silly that really got to me. And that is, I've been in business for many years. I intend to be in business for many more. If you're not ready today, it's okay. You can come back and maybe we can do business. And what a simple, and I'm totally paraphrasing her, not the way she said it. She said it more eloquently. But what a beautiful way for us to see things differently. At least it was for me. I'm like, wait a minute. Like tomorrow, actually, I'm doing a celebration tomorrow, but it was in August, the eighth month of the year. The eight. I'm not into numerology, but it seems like I am. Eight is the number for infinity, and eight in the month of August was when 10 years ago I opened up this company under this name. And so tomorrow I'm celebrating my 10 years in business under this name. And, you know, it took me a long time for me to understand selling. And when that woman said that, I said, wait a minute, I've been in business 10 years. And do I want to be in business 10 more? Absolutely. So even if someone does not, someone that I want to work with me does not work with me now, doesn't mean that that might not change. And I know that's a really silly concept, but when that woman said that, then I realized, wait a minute, I've seen that for myself. I've been in business 10 years. Some people have been in my email list for 10 years. As a matter of fact, two women this year that have been there, I don't even know how many years. I didn't even remember them. They came and are part of the Fabpreneurs community. And that's what they said to me, that they've been in my email list forever. What do you think about that?
I think when the time is right, the time is right. you know, I also like, I think she does it in this chapter where she breaks down, she believes that there are clients at different price points. So she doesn't offer just, the huge marketing, high dollar things. She gives free content, which I do. And then she has different price points for people to enter in and different things. And she says she does that by tuning in, what feels right to her to promote this month and things like that. And I thought that was a really beautiful way to do it.
And we must all trust that we have that ability. You know, it's funny because so many times I hear other speakers and authors like me that say, I'm not special. We're not special, but yet none of us are special, but all of us are special. That's what I say. None of us are special, but all of us are special. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that if you're doing it, someone else can do it. And if they're doing it, you can do it too. And when it comes to us giving away our freebies, we want to. We want to come from the heart. And we want to listen for divine guidance for when it's time to give and when it's time to receive. So, yeah, myself, Shelley, along with many other professionals, give a lot of freebies because we love sharing, because we have this knowledge and we want to share it, right? Some people will only ever consume our free material. But guess what? Other people who have never consumed our free material may become our clients. And some people who receive our free material at some point may become our clients. Either way, there's two lessons here. Be not afraid of sharing and giving because, I wrote a Facebook post this week about giving begets receiving. So we want to learn how to be both good givers and good receivers. Yes?
Yes. And, for me, I'm really passionate about lifting up women to their full power, and helping them to let go of made up rules that limit them from patriarchy. So if somebody gets something from that, from my free content, I have done my job.
Well, I think we've covered that chapter pretty good. Unless, do you have anything else before
No,
we jump on?
I liked how she broke down all the lies.
I love it. That was an awesome one. Okay,
It
so
was.
Shelley, why don't you begin us on chapter 10?
Okay, chapter 10 is about being a good person and being a rich person. And this is the chapter that I was kind of talking about. I used to have some really very judgmental beliefs about people who are rich. And it doesn't mean that some of those might not come up again. I thought that if, and I'm not talking everybody that's rich, I thought billionaires, people who are billionaires are just greedy jerks. Like why? But I said that without really even knowing that person, or, kind of putting them in a group and just having this preconceived limiting idea that that's who they were. And who needs $1 billion? But what I didn't realize is, there are some billionaires, such as, I'm going to take Oprah as one, who do incredible stuff. I mean, open a school in Africa for children, and women and young girls, and all of these other amazing things. And I don't even know all the other things that they have done. And so, it's not that money makes you a jerk. I think that it is helping to reframe and rethink about, what does it mean to be rich? And in addition to that, what does it mean if I'm rich? How would I be? What are the specific things that I would do? How would I behave? Would it change anything? And for me, what it would change is, uh, basically, that I would have more resources to do the things that I want to do, which always include lifting up women. You know, um, there is one male thing that I would donate money to, and it is called the Mankind Project. And their motto is changing the world one man at a time. And they do amazing work with men to actually get them to be centered, healthy men instead of toxic masculinity. So I'd give money to that, no, hands down. But there'd be tons and tons of money that I would give to other um, corporations and nonprofits and things like that that lift women. I do now. I give now. But the way that I could give if I was wealthy, let me just say, when I am wealthy, is going to be more of an impact on the way that the world moves forward. We can actually be that change. We don't have to do it and wait for money, but we can have a larger impact when we have the money.
And one of the things that I learned through my Unity community here in Miami, um, and the Unity teachings, which I talk about in my book also, because I do give a lot of kudos to the Unity teachings for who I am today and who I am becoming. Um, and that is that abundance is about your treasure, your talents, and your time. And, I think that's why I was guided this year to give of my time, because when I make money and I have money, it's so easy for me to give money to causes. You know what's really hard? To give my time. Okay? That's hard. And so, because I am expecting to have more money and I want to become better at being a good giver and a good receiver of my abundance, which is time, talents, and treasure, you know, as I've learned through Unity. This weekend I gave back. Well, I've been giving back through to the biggest yearly fundraiser for Unity. I was in the committee for the greatest fundraiser for the year, and then guess what? I said yes when they said they needed volunteers on Saturday. And I'm going to tell you, it was painful. I've never done so much physical work, okay? I'm just going to tell you. And then I said, you know what? That is good that I did that. Because believe it or not, sometimes it is easier to give a check than to give of your time. And so I like to really bring that concept that I learned to Unity in what I teach, that it's about abundance, and abundance has a lot to do with who we're being, and who we're being as an abundant person takes into account our time, our treasure, and our talents. And so, as we continue making more money, it may actually be easier to write a check. And the invitation, I think, at least for me, is to step out of that ease, right? And say, okay, let me make make it easier for me to give up my time and my talent. Because in truth, these are all the same. We've heard people say, right? Time is money, right? Money is time, right? And talent is time. So it's good to give and it is good to receive. And it's good for me, at least, to have a better and bigger understanding of what financial freedom and abundance really means in every aspect of my life and how it shows up. So there's something for us to think about there, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, every time that I volunteer of my time and talent, it's always so rewarding. It's and you meet so many um, people doing interesting, wonderful things. It's I recommend it too.
Absolutely. Okay, what else is in here that we have to cover? We have 15 minutes remaining, and I want to leave the last 5 minutes for some announcements at the end. So 10 minutes before we finish. Let's
Let
finish
me look
this.
at my notes.
Yeah, please.
I think that she's just bringing it all home with 10 and 11. She's asking, um, she's asking you to kind of look at the resentments that you might have, like I talked about, and then she's asking you if you had money and you trusted yourself to do well with it and keep it and all of those things, what would it look like? How would you feel? And then in the final chapter, she's really talking about. She condenses it, I think. Money exists to support me is one of the subtitles in that, and I think that it's something that I certainly didn't receive growing up or in my adult um, life. It's so clear that this is a tool that responds to your energy, to your vibration, to your intention, to your alignment, and that it really is here to support you. And it's up to you how it supports you. If you feel like you don't have enough money, are you allowing money to support you? And those are the kind of some of the things that she helps you take a look at. And really, I mean, there's so many things that I could write in just this chapter that are just powerful affirmations that you could work with, you know, a one sentence affirmation every day and keep going on this, because I think this is a practice. I don't think it's you read the book and then you're done. Apply the things that you've learned daily, and that's what I've been doing, and that's because that's, I think, part of the results that I'm seeing is because it's a continual um, practice.
And you finish with the word that I love, which is practice. I call the practice of the FAB money scripting a practice because it's like, I'm a WW Weight Watchers lifetime member. And that only happens and continues happening in as much as I don't go over 2 pounds of my lifetime weight, which means that every day I have to be mindful of what I'm putting in my mouth. And I tell you, while I still may put some things that I shouldn't, like today I had chocolate chip cookies, and probably more sugar than I should have, because sugar turns to fat. I'm very aware of what I'm eating. And so that's one of the reasons why I put the intermittent fasting to help my body adjust and also to improve my gut health, which it has. And if I stop doing that, guess what? What will happen is that the 45 pounds that I release will come back.
Mhm.
So this practice is the same thing. That's why, I don't have it here. Oh, yeah, I do. Right? I have all these things here, but I have my toothbrush where my pens are, and I have my pens over there where my toothbrush is to remind me every day that I write in my journal my intentions and I do my FAB money scripting every day. Because if I don't, just like my weight can come back if I'm not practicing good eating habits and I'm not aware and I'm not more mindful, the same thing, we fall back into the old patterns.
Right.
We can fall back into bad habits. And the worst habit of it all is the habit of me allowing my negative mind that I grew up with to resurface, or, my angry mind, because I had anger. to resurface. So the only way for me to do that is to have a daily practice.
Yeah. And she also takes it farther to say, like, if you've never had a $10,000 month and you want that, you have to allow yourself to recognize that's a goal that you have, that's something, a desire that you want, that it's possible, that you're worthy, until you start having it, and then it becomes standard. And then other things happen and you level up to the next level. And that's what she says. You can't do that if you don't consistently apply the principles that she shares in this book, or in anything that you're doing. It's not, you're not going to make it, this is normal. It's normal for me to have this type of money. It's normal for me to, fill in the blank what it is for you. And then when it's normal, then you can expect something more.
I love that because yeah, haven't we made the opposite be normal? Like it's normal for us to say I don't have enough time. It's normal to say I don't have enough money. It's become such a norm. How about we turn that around,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
What else, my dear friend?
Well, I would just say I love this book. I'm so glad that you posted about it. I bought it right away as soon as you posted it because I was like, it's the title spoke to me. I'm a real big believer in letting go of some of those rules about what a woman should and shouldn't do, and cursing is one of them. Um, yeah, because I'm not into being, oh, you have to be the little good little girl. Doesn't mean you have to be a heathen and a rebellion and all of that kind of things. But it can mean that you can still be this wonderful person and have this depth to you that is not just, be quiet little girl. So I bought it because of that title, and I thought, this is calling to me. And then when I started reading it and applying it, I've shared my results, and I think it's only going to get better and better from here. And I want to see all women lifted up. So every woman that is listening, uh, doesn't matter how much money you have. I know you can have more, and that empowers you to do more of what you want, whether it's what you want to have, or how you want to invest, how you want to share and be generous to causes and people, but just do it.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things I like about this book is so many women and people that are financially successful is understanding that if they do it, if they're done it, I can do it too. You
Yeah.
know, like for a long time, I've been saying that before I retire, I want to make sure that I've amassed $7 million. And recently, I met someone who made 3 million in 5 years, right? And so I said, you know what? That seems like a good number for me, especially because in 5 years I'll be 60. So I said, you know what? That's going to be my goal. In 5 years, $3 million. And I might make that as a challenge for other women who want to do the $3 million. And it doesn't seem so like, oh, you know. And, you know, I want to invite those that are listening to put a goal like that. And maybe it should be one, like they say, a BHAG, a bold, audacious goal that makes you be like, ah, so scared. Because in truth, there's nothing special about her, and yet everything is special about her. Just like you are special too. And so if she did it, I can do it. Shelly, you can do it. And
Okay.
anybody can do it, you know. And it can begin clearly by, you know, looking at what works from this content, what works for you. You know, maybe not everything will work for where you are right now in your life, but a lot of it may. What are you open and receptive to receiving, right? And so for me, I'm grateful that I read this book. I'm grateful that I came to pick it up. And I'm grateful for you, Shelley, for going through this book with me.
It's been fun, Evie. I've had such a good time. I feel like we've gotten to know each other so much better. And I look forward to more book discussions in the future. And hopefully more people will come and, be willing to invest their time into themselves.
Yes. And Shelley, I don't know if you RSVP for tomorrow, but I
I
want to.
did. I thought I had, but I looked back at my links and I was like, it's not on my calendar. So let me just do that today.
Yeah,
So I did. I'll be there tomorrow.
good. So after you introduce yourself, I want you to remind me to talk about our book club
Okay.
because we're not going to probably select one now until after the Moneyfest Live conference. But I want people to hear our experience, and I want it to come from you because you read this book, which showed a lot of resistance. But I want to mention it because I want to get people excited so that we can select a new book after the conference so that we can have a book to read. Because, this is the third book that collectively in a reading group with Fabpreneurs we've done. And altogether, I probably read like 40 books this year. It's helped me to be a more avid reader. And I'm very grateful because it really has expanded my mind and my ability to read and stay focused. And so I want to invite others to read because reading is powerful, it's transforming, it's impactful, it changes you. So, before the end of the year, we'll have another reading group, and hopefully we can come to an agreement as to what's going to be the book that we read. Um, Other than that, is there any final words before I talk more about tomorrow's
No,
event?
this has been a delight. Thank you for hosting it and showing up. And it's been so fun. I've enjoyed it.
So tomorrow we are going to have more fun tomorrow because tomorrow we have a fantastical, a fabulous, or a fabulastic party plan for all female entrepreneurs, all fabpreneurs. Tomorrow is not just my 10-year business anniversary, it is a celebration of every woman who attends tomorrow, her business celebration. Because tomorrow, it's not about celebrating me, it's about celebrating you. So I want to invite you to join us and I want to show you. And I don't know, stay with me to see if we can see this quick video. I don't know if did you see the video that I created?
I've seen some videos. I'm not sure if this is the one you're meaning.
Okay, let's see if you can see this one. I'm going to put it on so people can see the fun that we had in our last networking because tomorrow at 4 p.m. we have our Fabpreneurs networking party. And here's the video I created. Hopefully, I picked the right one. Tell me one thing that you liked about our gathering today.
It was
Can you
fun.
hear it? Good, thank you. And next,
Grateful for the virtual ability to meet so many amazing people all over the world. And today was a super fun session. I love this
I can hear
It's
this.
awesome.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Community. I love being part of the community, and I actually really enjoyed being pushed out of my comfort zone to try a new way of introducing myself.
Love that.
And this was fun. I liked how casual it was. And you're like, yeah, let's just do some cool things here, guys. It was
I love it. Yes, and
Today was a lot of fun. There was a lot of nice people here, and I'm just glad I saw
I'm so grateful to be able to be here for the first time with you, Amy, and for everyone that's here on this virtual call. Thank you so much for having me. And I really enjoyed how fun and how exciting it was.
Yay, good, good.
I quite honestly don't like virtual meetings, but this one was fun. I like how you got some fun with it. Had some fun with it.
Thank you very much.
So I don't know if you could hear it, but when we put it out there, we had so much fun, and this time it's going to be even more fun. And we have a lot of gifts and prizes because I asked some of the women if they had a gift, and we play a game. Actually, we're playing 2 games tomorrow. And so we make it fun for you to talk about you and your business. And the idea is to grow this community, number one, and number two, to help women understand the energy of abundance, which is a fun, relaxing, joyous energy. And that's the intention. That's what I want to create. because I want people to start feeling that and elevating their energy so they can feel good about asking for what they want. Clients, money. And of course, these are the preludes, the preview to our upcoming Money Fest Live International Women's Conference, which is happening November 1st and November 2nd. So if you are a female entrepreneur, I'm going to invite you to check somewhere below this video, and I'm trying to look for the link to join us tomorrow, because I promise you, you are going to feel like you are hanging out with a bunch of your girlfriends and you're not really selling yourself, you're not pushing anything. All you're doing is celebrating each other and joyfully relaxing, telling people about your business, and you are not going to be hanging on to any perceived idea that people have to buy from me or I have to sell. You're going to be in the allowing. And as you allow yourself to have fun, as you allow yourself to introduce yourself to women and the people that are there, you're going to be in that receiving mode. And so I want to invite you to join us tomorrow, bit.ly Evie 10 year celebration networking tomorrow at 4 p.m. And we will finish exactly at 5 because I have a 5 o'clock meeting tomorrow. So it's a 1 hour that's packed. We have 44 women who have registered, and I look forward to seeing you, my dear flirting coach for women, which, by the way, she attracted me and I attracted her because we both enjoy fun and being fun loving and sharing. And she was smiling one day in a Zoom room that I was in, and she attracted me with her smile, which is the best way for us to attract people.
Yep.
So I'll see you tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you.
I look forward to it. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun, I promise you. And like I said, you feel free to comment. You, Shelly, feel free to comment. Put your information wherever you see this video on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook so that people know. And I'll make sure that the link for tomorrow's event is there, as well as the link, which I forgot to put here, for Money Fest Live. Let me put it here. And by the way, even though we're officially finished, let me just say this to you, my dear friend. If at any moment you want us to go live, let me know, because my intention from now to November 1st is to go live more often than not. So anytime you feel like coming live with me, let me know. I want to start doing more regular lives. I'm planning a series on different topics related to money, and I welcome you anytime.
Well, we could do a topic on how the energy of flirting opens you up to receive even money.
Pick a date. The dates that I have right now are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday. That's when I used to do my live stream. Monday for what I call Money Manifesting Monday. Wednesday for Worthy and Wealthy Women Wednesday. And Friday for Fabulously Financially Free Fridays or Fridays.
Okay. Cool.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with me, sticking with this book and doing it. And I look forward to you manifesting all your intentions and for us to both grow together as individuals, as we grow our wealth and we grow our consciousness.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Glad
to be with you on the journey, girl.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Bye.
Bye.